suppose that during the intake valve open, but for some reason the exhaust valve open a little more. A little. The exhaust valve during the intake should be completely closed. What happens if during the intake the exhaust valve open a little? This is good? No, it's not good. It's not good. Especially in marine engines, it's not good. What is the problem? The water entering in the combustion chamber, and you know what happens when salt water enters in the combustion chamber? Yeah, the expansion, the thermal expansion of the aluminum is twice than the thermal expansion of the iron. The piston expands and blocks the engine immediately. This is catastrophic. In this picture, we have the valve. We have the rocker arm. This is the rocker arm. And this is the gap. This is the gap that we are going to calibrate with the filler gauge. The calibration that you have in this moment on the screen, we are going to do this calibration right now. Okay, right now it's clear for you that the valves should be properly calibrated. The most important part when you try to do valve lash calibrations is bring the cylinder number 1 to top the center. Let me I tell to you something. We are going to study in the next chapter the procedure to put the engine on time, the procedure to calibrate the timing of the engine. What is the meaning of that? You remember I explained to you that the injector should be open just a little before the piston reaches the top of the center. In that moment the injector open, spray the fuel liquid in the combustion chamber, and the explosion is produced and the piston goes down immediately. The procedure to put the engine on time is always with reference to the piston number 1. What is the idea? We are going to put the gear of the crankshaft, the gear of the camshaft, and the gear of the fuel injection pump aligned when the piston number 1 be located at top dead center with both valves closed, no? At the end of the compression stroke. When the piston is on top dead center with both valves closed, what happens when the valve is closed? The spring is compressed or the spring is extended? When the valve is closed, it's because the spring is extended. Okay. When the spring is compressed, like the picture that you have on the screen, the valve is open. Okay. I am going to calibrate the gap in between the rocker arm and the valve. Okay, the valve should be closed. Then the spring will be extended, and the rocker arm will be free. What is the procedure? I introduce the filler gauge. In this moment, I see that the filler gauge have too much play. In that case, I need adjust the other end of the rocker arm. In this moment, Professor Rodriguez adjust with the screwdriver, with a flat screwdriver, that gap, and with the nut, if the filler gauge is moving a little tight, not completely tight, a little tight, in that moment you can tie the nut, and this is exactly the calibration of this rocker arm. Oh, Mr. Lopez, in my boat the diesel engines are big diesel engines, and it's impossible with your hand try to move the harmonic balancer in front of the engine in order to rotate the engine, because it's a big engine. Okay, you can disconnect the computer, the harness on the computer, on the ECM, on the ECU. Remove the push button in order to crank the engine slowly, crank, and rotate the engine slowly in order to select exactly the position top dead center with both valves closed. The hydraulic lifter, the lifter that you have on the screen right now, is a cylindrical piece with two pistons, one piston on top and other piston in the bottom here, and one small orifice here. This is the block of the engine, and the galley, the cavity with the oil coming from the oil pump. Suppose that this is the oil pump, and those are the gears of the oil pump. The gears compress the oil and send the oil with high pressure. The high pressure enter here in the middle of the hydraulic lifter, expand the lifter, and here is connected the push rod. When the pressure of the oil is the pressure recommended by the manufacturer, the hydraulic lifter expand and keep, this is the push rod, and keep the push rods against the rocker arm. For that reason, my friends, once again, one of the most important gauge that you need locate appropriated in the console of the boat is the oil pressure gauge and the temperature gauge. Both of them are critical. If you are the captain, you need drive the boat checking both gauge all the time, the coolant temperature and the oil pressure. If you have the stethoscope, with the stethoscope you can identify if the sound is on the valves or if the sound is on the bearings. The knock probably is in the block, or the knock probably is on the head. Normally, when you have a knock, when you have a sound that is different like the regular, normally you have a check engine light. You have a light on the display of the dashboard. If you check the code for that check engine light, you have the code related with knock sensor, knocking sensor, knock sensor.